you have a blank page. So when you open Canva, you're probably going to see templates. This is what templates look like. Things related to an industry or niche or feed that you can use and customize to fit what you want to do. For example, this is for a digital marketing brand. You can easily download it and use it, right? And let me look for something else. Now, the disadvantage of actually using these templates, especially the very good ones, is the fact that other people definitely have used them before. And if people use the same template and make only little modification, your work is going to look cheap, right? It's going to look real cheap when you post it out there. You know, somebody could just look at it and identify that, oh, this is a template, right? But then when you know how to use Canva, you can create brand new designs, or even take a template and, you know, revamp it and make it entirely new, you know, something entirely different. So that's what we'll be focusing on in this class, not on how to use templates. Okay, so what are the tools you're working with? As you can see, you have the plus button when you create a new canvas. This is a squared a square Canva, right? I mean, by Canva I mean the space where you are designing, right? This is square, right? So when you click on that, you're going to have this replace, color, comment, and all of that. So we're going to be adding things with plus. Now we have elements. Under elements, we have lines and shapes, we have graphics, we have stickers, we have photos, we have videos, we have audios, we have charts, we have tables, we have frames, we have grid. I need you to take note of these things because you're going to use them in your work. Those are things that will make up the elements you'll be using in your design. Again, we have lines and shape. If you want to see all of it, just click on see all, right? We have lines and shapes, right? So let me bring in a shape, for instance. So this is a rectangle here in Canva, and then you are going to have contextual icons, you know, based on what you have, right? Based on what you have in your Canva, you're going to have some options below it. So let's look at how to work with that. So with here, you can, right here, you can remove the color if you don't want any color, right, at all. You can change the color if you want from this side, or you can as well come down and pick any color you want for that shape. And more, you can come to this border styles, right, style, and then add border width if you please, like your stroke, and then increase it if you want it to be rounded. Like, let's see. So you can see that we have some, oh, let me change that border to a lighter color. Okay, so you can see now that the border is now round, right? It's round. Okay, so you can do a lot of stuff here. You can make it dotted and all of that from this side. Then of course, if you click on font here, you are not dealing with text, right? So it does not make any sense. So, and the rest of the options are available. Let's look at transparency. Like your opacity, you can make your shape to be visible, less visible, or more visible by sliding that. Then the position back and forth. Like with the position, you can make an element, you know, put it at the back of another or put it in front of another element. You can animate, but then when you do, you turn that design to a video or an animation. Okay, so some of these options there work with text, some of them work with images. As we explore, you see how we use them. Okay, let me just move this to this side. Let's go back. So we have lines, so you can import any of this and, you know, adjust it as you please, move it around, and using the options here, you can customize them into what you want. Now this nudge is for moving things, you know, maybe downward or upward, right? But alternatively, you can click on this plus button and move shapes in your Canva, or objects or elements or text, move them to wherever you want, right? And you're going to have something like this guideline over here, you know. So we have this to rotate. You're going to have that on all the elements you bring into Canva. You're going to have these options to move them around, to rotate them. Okay, let's move on. All right, let me go back. Then next we have graphics, right? These are things you can bring into your project to enhance it, and this makes your work easier actually, because you can think of something, you can search for it. For example, I can search for a hammer here, right? So let's say I want a hammer, and you can see that I have some other graphics. I can readily bring them in, and already I can change the color. You can see the options to change the color of that hammer over there, and it's so easy to make adjustments, right, to customize. Okay, so let's just go on and see the things you can have. You can, from this same search, go into photos and see things related to Amma right there. Bring them in, right? So easy to work with, so easy to use. Now we have what is called watermarks, and you find them on Pro Elements when you try to use them. So Canva has a paid option, although what you have on the free plan is good enough. But if you want to enjoy some of these things that will make your life easier, like background remover, like magic resize, like tons of elements, millions of them actually, without having to pay, on a recurring basis, you can decide to use Canva Pro, right? And it will give you access to use this kind of elements. Okay. So what you can do in this case is you can decide to get Canva Pro, right? There's a free account, there's a pro account, and when you get Canva Pro, you won't be paying for each of these pro elements you use. Alternatively, you can find the free ones, the free elements, and use them for your designs. So, but then there's a lot you'll miss out on when you use only the free, like the background remover, the magic resize, the tons of templates, the tons of elements available in Canva. All right, so let's go further. So you can see that we have, you always have to work with elements, and from elements, you can always pick up things. And you can use the upload to bring them in. So with the upload button, you'll be able to import them into your design. Next, we have text, and usually you can add a heading, add a subheading as a title, or click on any of these options over here and customize them. Right, so let's add a heading. Okay, so you can just click on edit and put in the text you want, how to design with Canva. Now let me show you the options that are available when you are working with the text. You have the font. Usually Canva will put the fonts you use frequently on top, so you don't have to be looking for them. I use Antonio Bold a lot, and but then you can always scroll down to find more fonts. Archivo Black is also good for editing. Yeah, Anton is equally good, and there are a lot more fonts you can find. Then you have the font size. You can increase it, you can reduce it. You can also use that this circle on top of it to move it around. Next, you can edit the colors. Just click on the colors. You can actually also use Xcode with colors, so but then you need to know the Xcode ahead. All right, next we'll deal with formatting. So some fonts may not have the option to make them bold or use them in small letter cases. I think this font does not allow that, but you can still make them, majority of the fonts you can format them as you please. Use underline, use underline, italics, and all of that. Now let me show you how to use these alignment buttons. I want to make this into 2 lines of text, so you can see what happens when you click on center, left, right, and justified. Then you also have the numbering and the bulletin, so you can click on them to add numbering to your work. Alright, so we have spacing next, and you can increase the line spacing of your work, which is sometimes required. At other times you might increase the letter spacing or reduce it, so to maximize your workspace. So let's go to the next one. Effects. So these are the effects that are available for you in Canva. When you're working with texts, you can apply shadow with that, customize it. Just click on that like settings option, then determine the color of your shadow. Right, it's advisable not to overuse these stuffs, but then they are there to make your designs pop, your text pop, right? And let's undo and go back to the way it was before. Yeah, or you can as well just go back to effects and click on none to remove any effect you've added to your text. Then if you want to make it round, like curve the text, you can use that. You can as well click on the settings, and using the slider you can make it into any shape you want. Let me add a circle and see how this looks like. Okay, awesome. Alright, this is already looking good. Actually. Okay, alright, so let's go to transparency. So with transparency, it's like your opacity. You can make your elements or your text visible. You can make it visible, you can make it less visible. I don't know why this is not working on this. Let me remove the image and try a text. Let's try a text instead. So with these icons there, you can bring something forward, backward, but I don't know why it's not working on this. So let's remove this circle and bring in, duplicate this text so that we can demonstrate the layering. Okay, I'm thinking of something. Okay, let's type whatever designer. That sounds like rhyme, right? Okay, so let's change the color so that we can contrast. Okay, so now we can see that when you push it forward, the other one goes backward and all of that. Then you can also see what it means to use the middle, the top, the bottom. It just helps your alignment. The next we see how to nudge. Nudge works like your position in pixel app. So when you click on a particular direction and you hold, your elements begin to move in that direction. This also works for pictures, works for virtually anything. Now to see what you're working with, you can just put both thumbs and zoom, and sometimes it might be necessary while working on things that require a lot of details. Alright, take notes. Next, we have comments, but we're not working on that. Canva allows for collaboration, but yeah, you're not dealing with that. But then you can just keep comments. Maybe you want to take note of what you're doing, where you were, because you want, so that when you're continuing the project later on, or continue the project. You can add links, especially when you're working on online brochures or things that people can read online. So when they click on that link, like an hyperlink, it will take them to the site you want it to take them to. So you can see that link has been applied here. Yes, so let's remove it. And you can also lock an element on your canvas that will prevent it from moving, when you are doing other things. So it's awesome, especially when you want to work on other parts of the work and you don't want what you're currently, something you have finalized your work on, to be altered. So I think we'll just continue this training in another videos.